Okay, welcome back to part 2 of Creepiest Abandoned Theme Parks You Don't Want to Visit.
Remnants of the park makes it one seriously spooky destination. Disney's Lost Worlds. In the middle of a lake in Disney World, Florida, lies Discovery Island, a once popular zoological park, now only accessible to the stealthiest of urban explorers. It's totally off limits, and Disney has said that anyone caught on the island will be banned from all Disney properties for life. Discovery Island closed in 1999, and now resembles little more than a series of dilapidated enclosures and walkways from the shore. But those brave enough to venture across have found overgrown enclosures and buildings, freezers full of rotting substances, and, weirdest of all, jars and bottles containing real, preserved snakes. If that wasn't enough, just across the same lake housing Discovery Island lies River Country, Disney's own abandoned water park. What was once a popular splashdown destination now resembles an advert for a monster flick, or at the very least hepatitis. After 25 years in business, River Country closed in 2001, unable to compete with Disney World's larger, newer water parks. It now sits alone, a silent, stagnant pool surrounded by filthy slides and moldy walls. Perfect for a dip, if Discovery Island doesn't scare you enough. Holy Land, USA. Today, there's very little holiness in Holy Land. Built in Connecticut in 1955, the park features a replica of the Garden of Eden, tributes to the life of Christ, and other biblical dioramas. It was best known for its giant Hollywood-style sign and enormous flood-lit cross. Once a wholesome destination, the park is now one of the spookiest. It's been trashed in its years since its closure in 1984, and is full of decapitated statues and defiled iconography. If that isn't enough to keep you away, a woman was brutally murdered there in 2010. If you ever head to Holy Land, best take an exorcist. Kijanuma Leisureland, Japan. This abandoned theme park in Tohoku, Japan has more than just standard rusty rides and collapsed buildings under its belt. It closed in 2000 due to failing popularity, attributed to Japan's low birth rate and unstable economy. But what gives the park an unnerving edge is its ghostly location. The park was built next to the folkloric pond of the Ghost Woman. The pond's ancient myth involves a woman going insane and drowning herself in the pond after giving birth to a screaming snake-human hybrid. Rumor has it, at night, the screams of the wretched creature and its lunatic mother can still be heard. Even as a skeptic, that'd certainly keep me looking over my shoulder. Nara Dreamland, Japan. Nara Dreamland opened in 1961, aiming to be Japan's answer to Disneyland. Once the legit Tokyo Disneyland opened in 1983, it leached customers from Dreamland, gradually leading to its closure in 2006. Now, Dreamland's knockoff Disney aesthetic only contributes to the creepiness. The castle soon gained the attention of vandals, giving its innocent pink walls a filthy post-apocalyptic feel. Cute, merry characters were defiled and left in disturbing poses, while the park's many attractions soon became encased in dust and vines. Dreamland was demolished in 2017, but footage from YouTube explorers keep its sinister memory alive. Cidade Alba Noel, Brazil. This place was intended to be the Santa-themed section of a much larger park in Brazil. Only the rest of the park was never constructed, and Cidade Alba Noel itself never even opened. Now it's nothing but an incredibly strange Christmas ghost town. The creator, Brazilian politician Antonio Albano Reis, was killed in a car accident only a few meters from the park. His death, alongside allegations of on-site animal neglect, permanently stalled development, leaving behind what resembles a surreal Christmas special of Twin Peaks. Alongside various representations of Santa and his helpers, you can also find abandoned strollers, and for some reason, a terrifying Humpty Dumpty. Even in the heat of summertime, this place promises guaranteed chills. Western Village, Japan. In Nikko, Japan, a city about 70 miles north of Tokyo, lies Western Village. The Wild West-themed park has been closed since 2007 and is inhabited only by defunct animatronic cowboys these days, as well as a replica of Mount Rushmore. While some of the interiors are still impressive, the animatronics seem almost guaranteed to move while your back is turned. They can be found in various freeze frames of daily life in the Wild West. Worst of all, being a man having his tooth pulled. The scene is made even creepier by the vines, which have grown around the two men like something out of Satan's flower garden. But weirdest of all is an unexplainable sculpture of a woman seemingly fused with a bubbling wall of flesh. Whatever it is, I'm pretty sure they didn't have it in the real Wild West. Error of translation, I assume. Has this video made you want to check out some abandoned amusement parks? Or to have the military nuke them off the earth? Let me know what you think and which ones you'd visit in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.
Kasi baru sa OV ada ko ini mana mo.
Many objects around the world cause interest and intrigue, but other objects attract attention for all the wrong reasons, causing suffering, stress, anxiety, and sometimes even death. This list is full of mysterious objects like this, so keep watching to find out the top 10 most cursed objects in the world. Number 10. James Dean's car. James Dean was an incredibly popular actor decades ago. Just before he performed in his most famous role, a lead role in A Rebel Without a Cause, he had begun trying to kickstart a career in car racing. He competed in one competition before Warner Brothers banned him from taking part in any competitions while filming for the movie Giant. Unfortunately, this ban went unheeded and James Dean sadly crashed his Porsche 550 Spyder and died. But the story gets weird when we focus on the car in question. Famous actor Alec Guinness recalls looking at Dean's car, turning to James and telling him he was going to die in it, and that it was a sinister car. After James died, George Barris bought the wrecked Porsche for $2,500. Strangely, a mechanic broke his leg getting it off the trailer. The car parts were integrated into other Porsches, two of which crashed, killing one person and seriously injuring another. Number 9. Thomas Busby's Dead Man's Chair. Thomas Busby was a murderer who lived in the north of Yorkshire in the UK around the 1600s. Busby married Elizabeth, the daughter of a man named Daniel Alty. He and Daniel became friends and partners in crime for quite a while, though supposedly Busby was always in the foulest of moods with Alty. One fateful day, Busby grew so angry with Alty that Alty actually made his way round to Thomas Busby's inn and threatened to take Elizabeth home with him. What made the dangerous drunkard even more angry was that Alty was sitting in his favorite seat. Busby threw him out and later that night went over to his house with a hammer and murdered Daniel Alty. He was sentenced to death for the crime. The legend goes that Busby cursed his favorite chair before he left to be killed and wished death upon all those that sat on it. Strangely enough, in 1894, a chimney sweep was found dead out near Busby's gibbet. The sweep had sat in that cursed chair. Again, during the Second World War, a team of RCAF men were goading each other to sit in the chair. None of the men would make it back home alive and were killed in the war. Once again, in 1968, the soon-to-be landlord, Tony Earnshaw, reported hearing two airmen daring each other to sit in the chair. They both reportedly crashed in a car on the way back to the airfield. Fortunately, the seat now hangs as an attraction in the Thirsk Museum, so no one can sit on it. Number 8. The Crying Boy Painting. There are a load of supposedly cursed paintings in the world, a lot of which reportedly bring death to those that own them. One particularly interesting painting is The Crying Boy, painted by Giovanni Bergoglin in the 1950s as part of a series. It proved to be quite